In the late 1980s, a raw primal energy was brewing in the rain-soaked streets of Seattle. This wasn't just music, it was a cultural shift, a sound that would define a generation. And at the very heart of this seismic explosion was a voice unlike any other. A voice that could whisper a fragile melody one moment and unleash a primal, 4-octave scream the next. This was the voice of Chris Cornell. A voice that carries the weight of a generation, full of raw power, vulnerability, and soul. Today, we're diving deep into the life and legacy of one of rock music's most iconic and unforgettable voices, Chris Cornell. From the streets of Seattle to the biggest stages in the world, Chris Cornell's journey is a story of artistic evolution, profound impact, and enduring inspiration. Born in Seattle in 1964, his childhood was marked by the turmoil of his parents' divorce, a period of isolation and anxiety. But one day, a gift from his mother changed everything. A snare drum. It was more than just an instrument. It was an escape, a channel for the intense emotions swirling within him. This was the first spark of the musical fire that would soon consume him and the world. He dropped out of school, working as a fishmonger and a cook, all while honing his craft and searching for his sound. In 1984, that search culminated in the formation of Soundgarden with guitarist Kim Thayil, bassist Hiro Yamamoto, and the ultra-talented Cornell on vocals, guitar, and originally playing the drums as well. They were pioneers, forging a sound that was heavier than punk, moodier than metal, and entirely their own. Seattle was a fertile ground for a new sound, a fusion of punk rock's raw energy and heavy metal's sludgy, down-tuned guitars. This was the birth of grunge, and at its very heart were Soundgarden, leading the way. They weren't just part of the grunge scene, they were its architects. Scott Sundquist was brought in to play drums in 1985 so that Cornell could focus solely on vocals. Sundquist was soon replaced on drums by Matt Cameron in 1986, and this solidified their sound. Before Nirvana broke through to the mainstream, Soundgarden was already carving out a unique sonic territory. Their early music on the independent label Sub Pop was dark, heavy, and complex. Cornell's voice was the secret weapon. It wasn't just his incredible 4-octave range, it was the sheer force and emotion he could convey. He could go from a guttural, primal scream to a tender, melodic whisper in the span of a single verse. Tracks like Beyond the Wheel from their debut album Ultra Mega OK showcased this dynamic power, setting them apart from their peers. As the 90s dawned, the Seattle scene exploded, and Soundgarden was at the forefront. Albums like Bad Motorfinger gave us anthems like Rusty Cage and Outshined. Songs that perfectly captured the angst and disillusionment of Generation X. But it was their 1994 masterpiece, Super Unknown, that cemented their place in rock history. Super Unknown was a commercial and critical juggernaut. It was more psychedelic, more experimental, and more musically ambitious than anything they'd done before. The album spawned massive hits like Spoon Man, The Day I Tried to Live, and the haunting apocalyptic ballad Black Hole Sun. Through it all, Cornell's lyrics were poetic and introspective, exploring themes of depression, alienation, and the search for meaning. But Chris Cornell's story isn't just about Soundgarden. In 1990, tragedy struck the close-knit Seattle music community. Andrew Wood, the charismatic frontman of Mother Love Bone and Cornell's close friend and roommate, died unexpectedly. To process his grief, Chris began writing songs. What started as a personal tribute evolved into a one-off supergroup, a project of pure, unfiltered emotion called Temple of the Dog.
You say it's been love to have found the powerless when my cup's already
He brought in members of what would become Pearl Jam, including a then unknown singer named Eddie Vedder. Their duet on the powerful anthem Hunger Strike became iconic, a poignant collaboration between two of the greatest voices of their time. The self-titled album remains a cherished, beautiful monument to friendship and loss. After Soundgarden disbanded in 1997, a new, unexpected chapter began. Three-fourths of Rage Against the Machine, a band known for its political fire and funk metal grooves, needed a singer. Enter Chris Cornell. The result was Audioslave. It was a fusion that shouldn't have worked, but it did, spectacularly. Cornell's melodic and lyrical depth blended seamlessly with the instrumental prowess of Tom Morello, Tim Comerford, and Brad Wilk. They created a modern rock powerhouse, releasing 3 acclaimed albums and producing timeless hits like a Stone and Cochise. Audioslave proved that Cornell was not just a grunge singer. He was a versatile and dynamic rock vocalist who could thrive in any context. Beyond his legendary bands, Cornell's solo work revealed another, more intimate side of his artistry. His 1999 debut, Euphoria Morning, was a beautifully crafted, introspective album that showcased his songwriting depth. To hear Chris by himself with an acoustic guitar is a truly amazing experience.
Blood red feather leaves a scar upon my hand.
But perhaps his most surprising and mainstream solo moment came in 2006. He was chosen to write and perform the theme for the James Bond film Casino Royale. You Know My Name was a perfect fit, a modern rock anthem that was explosive, gritty, and sophisticated. It broke the traditional Bond theme mold and redefined what a 007 song could be, earning him worldwide acclaim and introducing his voice to an entirely new audience. Although beneath the powerful stage presence and the soaring vocals was a man who wrestled with profound personal demons, Chris was remarkably open and honest about his lifelong battles with depression and addiction. He spoke candidly about his struggles. By sharing his own vulnerability through his art, he gave a voice to millions who felt the same way. He made it okay to not be okay. His honesty helped to break down the stigma surrounding mental health, especially for men in the hyper-masculine world of rock music. Away from the stage, Chris and his wife Vicky founded the Chris and Vicky Cornell Foundation, a charity focused on protecting vulnerable children facing poverty, abuse, and neglect. It showed another side of Chris, a compassionate humanitarian who used his platform to make a positive difference. His empathy wasn't just in his lyrics, it was in his actions. On May 18, 2017, the music world fell silent. The news of Chris Cornell's tragic passing sent shockwaves of grief across the globe. It was an incomprehensible loss of a brilliant artist and a gentle soul, yet his legacy is immortal. It lives in the howl of Jesus Christ pose, the melancholy of Fell on Black Days, and the defiant hope of I Am the Highway. He was more than a rock star, he was a poet, a pioneer, and for so many, the voice of their generation. His music continues to resonate, to comfort, and to inspire, a timeless testament to a voice that will never truly be silenced. When we look back at the incredible body of work Chris Cornell left behind, his legacy is in that voice, a voice that could move mountains and break your heart in the same breath. He was a key architect of the grunge movement, a sensitive solo artist, and a storyteller who connected with the deepest parts of our shared human experience. The black hole sun may have come and washed away the rain, but his voice will echo forever. If you haven't yet seen or heard any music of this true rock icon and legend, then do yourselves a favor and check him out. Have a dig through his albums and vast body of amazing songs and see what you can find. Drop a comment below and tell us your favorite Chris Cornell, Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, or Audioslave song or album, and what live shows you've seen. And make sure you subscribe to the Heavy Metal Cartel for more progressive rock, punk, and heavy metal videos.